The Wilderness Within You, Day 2, which is Thursday of Week 1. Our Bible reading is Deuteronomy 2, verses 1 to 8, and then 26 to 29. And I'm reading from the New International Version. Then we turned back and set out towards the wilderness along the route to the Red Sea, as the Lord had directed me. For a long time we made our way around the hill country of Seir. Then the Lord said to me, "You've made your way around this hill country long enough. Now turn north. Give the people these orders. You are about to pass through the territory of your relatives, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. They will be afraid of you, but be very careful. Do not provoke them to war, for I will not give you any of their land, not even enough to put your foot on. I have given Esau the hill country of Seir as his own. You are to pay them in silver for the food you eat and the water you drink. The Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hands. He has watched over your journey through this vast wilderness. These 40 years the Lord your God has been with you, and you have not lacked anything. So we went on past our relatives, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. We turned from the Arabah road, which comes up from Elath and Ezion-Geber, and travelled along the desert road of Moab. From the desert of Kedemoth I sent messengers to Sihon, king of Heshbon, offering peace and saying, "Let us pass through your country. We will stay on the main road. We will not turn aside to right or to left. Sell us food to eat and water to drink for their price in silver. Only let us pass through on foot, as the descendants of Esau who live in Seir and the Moabites who live in Ar did for us, until we cross the Jordan into the land the Lord our God is giving us." I stand at the traffic lights, waiting to cross. I'll tell you now, this junction is insane. From this side of the road, leaving the supermarket with our plastic bags full of cheap food, we stand waiting for the little green man to show up, because the cars and buses and lorries seem to come from everywhere. Across the road from me, in the rain, I watch a man waiting patiently for the green man to light up, and he has, motor neuron disease maybe? A long-standing spinal problem? Supported by crutches, his useless feet dragging hopelessly in their orthopaedic shoes, he waits. Once the light changes, he has 2 car lanes, a bus lane and a lay-by to make it over before he reaches the far side in safety. He can only go slowly. Brave. I pass him on my way over. We stand in the next island, jostled together like herded sheep in a pen. 2 more car lanes to cross before the next crossing place. And after that, 2 more. And then a single lane, all controlled by lights, pedestrians meekly obeying automata because it is safe to do nothing else. Everything goes so fast, and it's easy to make a mistake. Standing in this tarmac and concrete jungle, where instead of tree trunks, a forest of telegraph poles, Belisha beacons, traffic lights, street signs and lampposts has sprung up. I wonder about wilderness. How far from all this would Jesus be? That man of the hills, his gaze adjusted to the expanses of the Sea of Galilee, his footfall to the dusty tracks where sheep follow and camels gather by the well. The lights, wouldn't you know it, are not synchronized. Every time our little pedestrian huddle swishes across in its anoraks through the downpour, we stop again. The lights are against us every time. As we wait for the beeping to begin that will trigger our obedient forward surge, I reflect upon the meaning of civilization. Do we belong here? The human race, I mean. Were we born for this? In this urban wasteland, trained to compliance, our movements conditioned by fear in so many ways, do we really live? Or are we just passing through, paying our way on a trail to nowhere, some promised land that looks more like a mirage every day? What does it mean, in real terms, civilization? It is at the last crossing that, for all the moisture in the air, my mouth goes dry and my heart misses a beat. Nobody looks up in the urban landscape. As I stand with my eyes trained to the ground, I become unexpectedly aware that I'm looking at sandals. The person, a man, next to me on the traffic island is wearing sandals and a homespun robe that reaches down not quite to his ankles. As my gaze travels dumbfounded upward, adrenaline sparkles through my every cell. My hair moves on my scalp. A feeling like water trickles the length of my spine, because I know who this is. And apparently, a quick, wild glance round tells me this. Nobody else can see him. When my eyes meet his eyes, the gaze I have yearned for so long to find, to link in with, to search. My mind has just enough elastic left in it to frame the obvious question: What are you doing here? His eyes are laughing. He looks at me, but he doesn't speak. But I understand him. This, here, the Silver Hill traffic lights with the nightmare crossing, the dreary clot of run-down shops and grubby houses bathed in traffic fumes, the foot-soldiering drifts of damp humanity slogging through the drizzle to find cheap supermarket deals and avoid colliding with vehicles of impatience. Well, he includes this in his definition of wilderness. And yes, when I come to think about it, I believe I do too. But if all this that we have worked so hard to build and buy, the shops and houses, the food in plastic packets from the chain store, the river of cars endlessly streaming by, turns out to be no more than a wilderness we are passing through, what will be our destination? If this is not home, what is? That was our first meeting, crossing the road.